two poor artists, where they're terrible at trusting their bosses, but they're mostly terrible at art on YouTube.
I'm Isaac.
And I'm Benj.
And I'm Micah.
We've graduated from just being poor at this to being terrible at this week.
Apparently.
I'm quite proud of us.
Well, I said terrible because I was angry that they erased my first two attempts because I didn't say the stuff right.
Hey, our
and then I
fans-
just completely gave up and said terrible.
Our fans demand our boring opening every week. Word for word, they get it on t-shirts.
If you haven't guessed, though, we have a guest on our show today.
Yes, our guest is Micah, Benj's
It's
brother.
pronounced Micah.
From now until forever, please refer to him as Micah.
Micah.
Wonderful. And today we are drawing something that he has brought to our attention, which is a particular episode of SpongeBob. I'm sure you've all seen it, but it's the episode of SpongeBob where he is investigating if Mr. Krabs is in fact a robot. So for today we are drawing, what's our official title?
Investigating if our boss is a robot.
Yes, something we all have to do at some point in our lives.
If you've never... Here's just a tip for you. If you've never investigated if your boss is a robot yet, make sure you do that, on Monday. Because...
This comes out in time for the work week so that we can help you.
Yep, and sweet nectar to my ears because it's a real problem that we need to fix now.
And
And if everyone pitches in to take down their boss, the robot, then we'll get this problem solved by next Tuesday.
you'd be surprised how many bosses are actually robots. Like, the answer is not zero.
No, definitely not. It's a big problem, or else we wouldn't be drawing it. We're not just here to provide art services. We are here for advice and helpful things to make this world a better place. Like not passing out toothbrushes on Halloween and checking if your boss is a robot. There's a good chance if your boss looks like this, by the way.
In a box.
They're definitely a robot. But
Your kid probably
if you're
puts some eyes on a box.
Yeah, but if you're still confused, you can check. There's a couple of surefire ways. If you watch the SpongeBob episode, you'll understand.
Yep.
Micah, this is about the point where our guests start telling us how bad our art looks. So,
it actually looks pretty good.
I don't know what to say to that.
Well, robots
I'm sorry.
are pretty easy to draw because they're like squares and stuff, so you don't have to do any hard art movements with your hands.
Like
Yeah,
straight lines.
hard art movements are definitely the
Right.
bane of our...
This is just the norm. Straight lines. As long as you're not super nervous, you can do it.
I am super nervous apparently every time I do art.
Also, robots don't have hands. So that guy that comes and mangles all the hands of people in your universe, he doesn't even have to show up.
I don't know how I'm going to do this then, because that goes against every thing I draw.
What? Okay, so is this literally what your boss looks like?
Well, I mean,
Because if you haven't taken care of it, you have a lot more trouble than the average guy.
Yeah, this name is Rob.
All bosses look like.
Rob, it's not short for robot or anything like that. It's just Rob. Normal Rob.
His last name is Bot.
I mean, one of the biggest problems, I'm sure we can all admit,
Okay. That leg. I don't know.
that leg was supposed to look like that. It's a knee.
The knee,
You might wanna
the single
stick
line.
the wheels.
No, I mean, I'm happy with this. Because I have to be. See, what most people don't understand is that drawing with a pen and not being able to erase is just horrible. There, now it's an artistic choice. He's got them on both sides, so it must have been on purpose.
Is
Robots always have those creases in their pants.
the tie painted on, or does he like actually wear a tie?
No, he actually wears it. It's not as unrealistic as you might think that this guy's just a...
He has nude arms. He sort of looks like the robot in SpongeBob when they're showing the episode that scares SpongeBob.
He
But
does.
then he has like a suit on to try and blend in.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally like, you know, sometimes you see somebody with like a prosthetic arm and you don't walk up to him and be like, are you a robot? This guy's just got a lot.
Just every part of his body is prosthetic.
Yeah, and if you're a good employee, you don't go pointing out the problems with your boss. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Does he have like magnet hands?
He has pinchers,
Oh, okay.
prosthetic arms.
The investigating for this one is just going to be walking in the room. It's like,
Investigation
wow,
done.
I'm glad Micah brought this to my attention. Now I know my boss is a robot.
I thought that was impossible before, but now I see.
This is just like a you know,
It's a toaster. It's toaster on the ground.
there is a toaster on the ground.
Is it like his toaster wife?
No, it's just it's got
It's
eyes.
the brave toaster.
It does look odd. I mean, I didn't realize how much just drawing a toaster with eyes just makes it the brave little toaster, but
Since that's all the brave little toaster was.
yeah, you know. What does bread look like? Kind of looks like that, right?
Like a hat? Like a chef's hat?
It's toast.
What? It does. It's not the whole size of the toaster.
It's like popped up. It's been toasted. Then we've got human employee over here. He's just
It's his name, Hume. Which isn't short for human or anything.
I mean, it's going to be now.
Are you sure it's not a bird, man?
That's not a mouth.
But it is a beak.
No, I mean, he's bald too. By the way, I was gonna give him some feathers, but
I was gonna make fun of this, but it's just
It's the plot twist. The robot is investigating if this guy is a robot.
yeah. This guy's pretending to be a robot.
That wasn't supposed to be curved. No.
Oh, that was worse.
The guy's arms are the same size as his torso.
We'll give him a long torso. Helps to balance out the
He
illusion.
has never missed arm day.
This guy.
But he misses torso day every
There's no
day.
such thing. He's just an unhealthy amount of skinny, but it's just like a metabolism thing.
The robot looks more believable than this guy, for sure, as a human. The proportions and everything. It's just like, hey Arnold.
This is like a puppet guy
as
or
a
something.
robot.
Now I have to draw hands. Oh, his arms are really short. Maybe he's just his shirt. He's got it rolled up.
Sure.
That's a pretty good save.
Yeah, see,
He's got a nice shirt on there.
Forgive me for this next part, Micah. This is the part where we have to draw hands because I made a mistake. He has 5 fingers this week, at least.
Yeah, that's almost worse.
I know, it doesn't
Because
make
5
sense.
fingers don't fit on hands.
Yeah, he's just bald.
So what is this? Is this the reveal? He's finding out if his boss is a robot?
This is where he starts thinking, maybe I should investigate.
He just it's like, okay, now that this guy's next to a toaster, I'm starting to see something here. He's like, he hasn't even eaten the bread yet. How can them human not eat
Yeah,
the
it's
toast.
like, most people take their toaster out of the toaster home. This guy's toaster walked in with him, so...
Or he's just introducing him to his son. Let's introduce our...
New assistant.
Okay, so the toaster is just alive for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Boop beep. That's a name of the toaster? Or does he add all of his sentences that way?
No, it's just how he ends all of his sentences. It's like a quirky thing that the manager does. Like, you don't want to point out, you're like, oh man, my manager's got this weird thing he always does at the end of every sentence.
Says boop beep.
But yeah. I mean, that's basically it.
Suspicious.
I'm just thinking it.
He lost his assistant manager job to a toaster.
Yeah, because he was up for that. You know how people are like losing their jobs to robots. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Hopefully you haven't lost your job to a toaster, though.
Yeah. But this guy's like, no, it's a little suspicious that this guy's toaster.
Robot boss? Question.
Mm-hmm. Now just for my name and age, make it an official piece of art.
Yep. You don't, can't put it on the fridge if it doesn't have name and age on it.
Mm-hmm. Micah, would you like this printed out for your fridge at home?
Sure.
You got really close to the mic to say that, so I'm guessing it's
Sure.
like, yeah, you really want this? You can touch it. It's on the screen now. Benj.
I don't want to touch it.
Okay. I'm glad you took some time to think about it. Benj, I think it's your turn to get over here.
Okay, and ruin the canvas?
Yep, indeed.
Okay, let's do that.
So is my drawing everything you hoped it would be, Micah? Micah.
Yep.
Well, let's see if I can ruin these expectations.
You can.
So I'm gonna draw a human over here.
You notice how Benj doesn't use a drawing glove?
He started with a square.
Yeah, no, it's Benj's theory on how to draw humans.
It's starting to look like Phineas.
It does 100% look like Phineas. Okay, so it's just Phineas. If Phineas had more hair.
Okay. This is a human man.
He looks like he's very suspicious of something.
Is this actually a human man, or is this your robot?
Oh, we don't know. Now we're the investigators.
That's the,
Yes, it's up to us.
you have to investigate.
Like,
That's
I'll
the
be
whole
honest,
point.
if somebody walked into my work and he had a face shaped like the letter F, I'd be a little suspicious already.
F for Phobot.
You guys are saying he looks like Phineas. Phineas looks like this. Like, this is Phineas.
Oh, he looks like Ferb.
Yeah, same characters, really.
Is that part of your drawing now?
No, I don't remember how to undo though.
Oh,
I just
breaking
had- I
the
just
cardinal rule.
I just had to correct you on
I think
your Phineas and
I
Ferb.
think
Thank you.
Doofenshmirtz has a nose twice as long as that, Benj.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the front of his body is a square and the back of it is a triangle. Oh, here it
I
comes.
think that's just like his
Here it comes. A
jacket. I
hand.
don't think he's naked. I
Oh.
think that's his jacket.
Wow. His hand looks...
Squarey.
That's the best way to put it.
Looks sort of useless.
And then
So I'm thinking this is actually the robot.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, he's got a butt though. A square butt. The telltale sign.
This guy, and he looks sort of lifeless. Like, and
What is... So, if your boss is made out of squares, just squares, except for his shirt's a little triangle.
Well, I mean, it's a jacket. He's wearing clothes.
Oh, see, that's where I was mistaken.
I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's eyes were actually shiny red.
Something that doesn't come out when you use a pen only. Are his eyes glowing, Benj, or... What are those? Are those
Fingers.
fingernails on his knuckles?
No,
They're like
they're
robot fingers.
like joint things. And so then we got this
It's a
floppy.
toaster. A toaster.
What is that?
Uh,
Oh, it's
it's his other hand.
So
his
then,
other hand fall off on the other side.
so then this we have this
It's a
human guy over here.
Oh, see, this one looks more
yeah,
human
this
because of the
one
circles.
looks like it's got lots of life. To
Yeah,
live.
lots of life. Because I mean,
Yeah, look at that.
yeah.
It looks like a. Real,
What is the thing over by the other guy? What is that on the floor? Oh, okay. Is he going to swallow the robot?
Swallow.
That's one way to
Robot
tell.
hand.
If you chew him up and
No,
it's nothing but nuts
That's
and
a
bolts,
mustache,
then
is that just a big mustache, or is it his mouth? He's
Uh,
surprised. He's investigating.
he's surprised. He is
Yeah.
surprised at what he's witnessing.
Both of you guys are.
what
just
is he witnessing?
some very average dudes.
I mean, we don't know much more than that. Very average dudes are kind of our thing.
Yeah,
It looks like he's a cameraman.
average is
I feel like if Bench put a
Av-
camera in that hand,
average
it's
is what
filming
we
the
draw.
robot.
Is he a cameraman, Benj?
Nope, he's just a man.
Is he showing some belly there above his belt?
This guy
No.
doesn't have a shirt like the other.
That's just
He also
how
doesn't have quite the pronounced butt that the first guy
his,
did.
His jacket, his shirt's like tucked in, and this is a tie.
Not just like a hole in his stomach.
Yeah, he has a tie.
So what's he
And
about
there's
to... Is he
collar.
eating something or is he filming
No,
something?
He's surprised. His hands up. He put his hand up in surprise.
He looks like he's
What he
either going to
saw.
karate chop someone, eat like a sub sandwich, or film somebody on like old school video
And
camera.
Also, he's like leaning or something.
Is he
I don't
surprised that
I don't know
the
what's going
robot
on there.
took his hand?
Is that his other hand?
The robot's just like, you're fired and I'm taking your hand.
My human
Oh,
okay.
I see.
skin
Oh, gross.
fell off
See again. Again, this goes back to the prosthetic thing.
hand.
You could have a boss who just like, you've always known he had like a prosthetic hand, but you don't want to like bring it up. And then it falls off one day, and you don't go to him and be like, I saw your prosthetic robot hand. Are you really a robot underneath all that skin?
Yep, this is the type of stuff they should actually teach at school.
What is he peeking over? Is he looking over something at this guy? Or are they just like in the same room?
Yeah, they're in the same room.
Why is he on his tiptoes then?
He's out of surprise. He tiptoed.
Actually,
Isn't that what you do in
if
your
this
surprise?
happened, I would be sort of relieved that it wasn't actually a human boss. It was just like, okay, the robot lost its
If
state.
you're 100% sure that you have a human boss and his human skin falls off his hand, then
He's probably a robot
he
boss.
probably has got leprosy, is what I was going to
No.
think.
Oh, yeah.
Boss.
Leprosy is just another word for a robot.
Is that what happens? Your skin just like slips off your hand one day?
Robots, question mark.
Bench.
Question mark.
Robots? Oh man, now I feel bad. I could have written that.
Okay, well that's my drawing.
What?
It is good.
You can
That
assume they're in an office. I don't want to draw out the
No, neither
background.
did
I
I
haven't-
had to do much investigating, but
Well, then why don't you get over there and show us how it's supposed to look?
Show us how an investigation's done.
Yes, please.
All right. Here I am. So, as many of you know, my first job and boss was in space.
Yeah, common knowledge, really.
And we were on a planet. Here's the planet.
Mhm.
And the planet was a little bit bigger than that.
I just want to thank you right off the bat for making us look good.
No. Take that back.
I take it
Okay.
back. We don't look good.
And I was actually a fry cook. And I looked like this.
See, that.
This is what you looked like when you were in space as a fry cook.
You know, I've heard things happen to your body when you're up in space. I never knew it was quite
This is
so.
how it is in
Like in
space.
Wall-E.
This is how it is in space. This is how it is in space.
You know how like SpongeBob?
This is what are you bringing SpongeBob up into
Yeah,
this?
why are you bringing SpongeBob
This is
in this
my
totally
watch.
unrelated
No,
time?
This is relevant. Like when SpongeBob and his friends are in the ocean
See,
and they
SpongeBob.
leave the ocean, they change what they look like entirely.
Oh yeah, it's
Why
what happens
are
to
you-
humans when they're
What
in.
happens when humans
No.
go into space? They change the way they look entirely.
Okay.
Now, okay,
Your mouth
I
flattened out
heard
quite a bit.
a boss, and he was in his office, which was by this. It was by the seventh
Second star to the right?
The seventh star.
Oh.
His office was,
Not Peter Pan.
and he looked a little like this. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I've heard space bosses also
Like this.
look like that when they leave Earth's
He
atmosphere.
looked a little bit like this.
It would be
He
hard
had
to
claws for hands.
It would be hard to know if
He has claws for hands?
those look like a pitchfork.
He has a pocket protector over here. Pretend. Okay, and
No pocket, just a pocket protector.
I could not tell you if his boss is a robot or not.
I'm telling you, it was hard. That's why we had to investigate. Me and my buddy over here. Wow.
That's your buddy?
That's how you. That's
Is
the
your-
sound you
is your
make
buddy
when you
like-
draw a guy like this. He was a weird looking dude.
Oh my word.
So
He was a weird looking dude.
and
Whatever happened to this guy? Did you lose contact after you
and so
left?
we heard our boss making the sounds, you know, the beep, boop sounds.
Oh, see, that was the dead giveaway in my drawing,
And he
too.
was
Yeah.
talking to his
Yeah.
radio, like this. See? He was talking to his radio.
You mean toaster? I think it means toaster.
This is a radio. And it has knobs and it makes sound.
I see.
And there's a... Oh,
Those
yeah.
are sound waves.
anyways. And so we wanted to know if he was a robot. And so this is his blender, which is a robot.
Yep, nope, that's a dead giveaway.
Everyone knows that. And we had our bat. And we were going to smash it. Unless he tells us he's a robot. Like, if he tells us he's not a robot, we're going to smash it. If he tells us he is a robot, we're going to smash it.
I think it's coming back to me
That
now.
is the
Because
only
he
way
was
to
lying
find
to
out.
us.
Yeah,
That
I
is
mean,
the only way to find out.
this is good
And
advice.
so we smashed this, and then we also had his cash register. And at the point where we started to go after his cash register with a bat, my coworker, he was like, sometimes I hit my coworker in the face with a bat, and he became handsome
Wow.
like this.
Mm.
Look at this,
Oh my gosh, I can tell he has eyes now.
and then look at his butt chin.
Ooh.
So much more handsome.
And
Yeah,
then
butt chin's
he
a giveaway.
He becomes handsome Edward.
Edward.
Yeah,
Edward. Handsome Edward.
Okay, and I'm Micah Bob. Anyways, we started smashing these,
Yeah.
and then our boss started crying tears.
Oh, you know robots can't do that.
And he said I loved him since he was a little baby toaster. cash
Toaster
register.
turned into the cash register.
We,
I mean, that
we
seems
smashed
like-
the toaster earlier on.
Oh.
That's like something that would happen in Pokemon.
He-
You'd have like the
he-
toaster
he
Pokemon
loved
turns
the
into a cash
toaster.
register for no
He
reason.
loved the cash register. He didn't really care about the blender because the blender, like whenever he made a smoothie in the blender, which he didn't drink by the way because he's a robot.
Oh, he is a robot.
The mangoes were too cold. They were too frozen, and the blender could not blend them. It was a big problem. So whenever someone got a smoothie with mangoes in it, it would fall apart.
What
Anyways,
exactly-
this is the story of how I investigated.
Did you determine whether he was a robot or not?
Oh, he was.
Oh,
Oh, he was a robot.
what do you?
Well, because what would be the point of this if we weren't proving that our bosses are robots?
Yeah,
So
it'd be
you
kinda-
guys gotta prove that your bosses.
So he's a robot.
So-
that can cry.
I just want to point out for the
is-
record that the boss in my drawing wasn't a robot at all.
This
He's just
is
dressed like one.
You
me.
just
It
And
was a really weird investigation in the end.
investigate
that makes sense, I guess.
robot
Mine was a robot.
boss. And I am
You gotta put your name.
30.
You got.
age.
Yep, no lies.
And
within him.
I'm sure every bit of what's on
And
this page is true.
This star had a smile. Because it's nice.
I do find
And
that part a
we're
little
going
hard
to
to
start
believe, though.
selling that star plushie as merch soon. So
our
be
only
looking for
merch-
that.
Merch will
Looking
be
for that.
the smiley star from Micah's real life story about being a fry cook in space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Micah, it has been.
It's been
Yep.
time.
It's been time
been
that we've
time.
spent with you.
Mm-hmm.
Time we could have been doing other
It's
things.
pronounced Micah. Bob.
Well, Micah, Bob, thanks for being here.
No, thank you.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yep.
How do you close out the...
You know, it's never usually this awkward.
We just say bye.
Okay, see ya.
We say bye.
All right.
Sometimes we say it in
We
Spanish.
say adios. And sometimes we say...
See you next time.
And sometimes we say...
As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.